Thank you. So our webinar is write your book and launch your genre. So here we are to do that today. So thank you. And I've got some slides pertaining to this webinar. So I'm going to bring them up. Okay. I'm going to share it. So this is the wrong one. So excuse me, I will. Okay, so. Okay, so we are at the start. So once again, welcome and hello to you who have joined us. And today we have so on our first slide, I've got the introduction. And so we'll be talking about a brief history of literary works of art. We'll cover some early influential writers, why we write, I'll succeed or learn, launch your genre, live the change you want to see. And on the topic of novel, a genre is a dream without a deadline. And next we have poetry, people plan, fate laughs. So with that, I'm going to move a little bit further. Okay, so a brief history of literary works of art. History tells us that learning from early writers give us reasons to express our feelings the way we do. We know that another version of literary devices need to satisfy our writing. A recollection is a literary period from the latter 14th century to the 17th century. Apart from scientific and artistic achievements, the philosophers of ancient times wrote in ancient world with cultural influences, mainly in Europe, Roman, and Greek, with near nostalgia. So this person here, this image of this man here is Charles Sancher, and just a brief history of who he is. So Charles was a campaigner for abolition of slavery. He was born on a slave ship, and at 2 years he was transported to Grenada in the Caribbean. And at 2, when his parents died, he was taken by the owner of the ship to Greenwich, where he grew up, learned to read, and he became a writer and an author, and he campaigned for the abolition of slavery as well. So that is Charles that is sitting right in front of us here. Okay. Can I also remind you that we have chats, so you can please put your questions in the chats and we can talk about those after at the end of the webinar, I should say. Okay, so our next slide is some early influential authors. I'm sure some of you would know this lady here. So she is Maya Angelou, and a great poet and author. Okay, so some amongst authors that produce compelling literary devices are John Donne's earliest metaphysical concepts of constructing powerful metaphors, Matthew Arnold, a poet and specialist in nonfiction genre. We have Emily Bunty. She's a fiction genre and writer of Wuthering Heights, book series. We also have George Eliot, who is a fiction writer. We know she's not with us. We have Harper Lee, and she wrote a compelling fiction genre, How to Kill a Mockingbird. We have we have Toni Morrison, who wrote Beloved, James Baldwin, who is a poet, and of course, Maya Angelou, Why the Caged Bird Sings. Okay. And I'll move on to the next slide now. And just to let you know why write a book. And it's a compelling answer. Why do we write? So there are many things that compels us to write a book. But here are the more, I believe, influential reasons why we write a book. We write to release and express our thoughts, and also to release stress that become a burden to us. We also to share experiences with an audience, get their responses about a matter that is of importance to them. 3, we write to build relationships with people all over the world and to share lives, experiences, and our troubles. We also write to give inspiration, educate for pleasure, satisfaction, and have a readership. Another one is writing a book helps readers generate ideas within a busy and bustling life to relate to sound, conscious thinking that what life means to them. Writing a book is impacting positive identity while ignoring aspects that are meaningless. So that really speaks for itself. So we write a book because it impacts something on us, which we want to share. And also to go a little bit further into how massive our writing is and books are. I've got here a diagram. So this is statistics. So 2080, but it's still relevant today. So over 1.8 billion print books were sold by US publishers in 2018. And within that, board books were 3.7%, hardback 22.3%, all other 6.1%, instructional materials 7.2%, ebooks 13.0%, and downloading audiobooks 5.6%. Mass market 4.9%, and paperback 36.9%. So you can see how massive paperback is, and in all that the book industry is still generating a lot of energy and a lot of readers. So it goes and says a lot about when you write your book, where it's going. Okay, so let me move on to the next. I'll either succeed or I learn. So alongside our literary concepts to make a big impression in our writing world, thoughts to write can be a simple step-by-step process and get your message across just the same. Believing is knowing that our readers will engage consistently with us.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Above all, we think it is the right time to share our book when the author begins their writing journey and is on a path to make a difference. it is a means for the audience to connect with the genre and desire to fulfill what they seek. The reader sees the richness of the writing and returns to reading it over again. Okay. Right. So as the heading says, it really is a consistency for the author. So I either succeed or I learn. That's a drive for authors and their books. Okay. So the next we got here, launch your genre, live the change you want to see. So the exciting thing about this slide, I believe, it recognizes the author in a lot of ways, because it doesn't isolate anyone from making that headway to write and to, make themselves within the writing world become a familiar image, a writer in the writing world. Recent book readership statistics show the growth of genre popularity. So there is no fear to write another genre, and you might like the change you see. One exemplary process is to use the compulsory forms and rules which require you to use when writing that genre. So amongst the genres that we have and we use, these are some of them. They're the classics, the comic books, graphic books, detective and mystery, fantasy, which includes magic, mythology, and the supernatural. Historical fiction is set in the decades and are real historical events. Then you got horror. Literary fiction is artistic writing style of the author. Science fiction, suspense and thrillers, women fiction, memoirs and essays. And so the other slide that I've got, and which you can see, hopefully you can see, it talks about the percentage of total trade sales, which is really relevant. And that is in last November 2020. This is a format after gathering all the statistics. This statistic was in the UK, so it's pretty at home with us. So there is the consumer books. So board books, so was 2.3% in 2020, and paperback was 27.3%. Mass market 1.6%. Physical audio 0.4%. And the download statistics was 5.9%. And other is 4.1%. And we have hardback, which is 49.2%, and that is going strong, both in the US statistics we have just seen and in this recent one. So it sends a positive message that hardback books are on the rise, and despite technology, it is still consumers' favorite to buy their books. So that's great. Okay, and consumer books, yeah. So the consumers bought those. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. Okay, so right, so novel. The heading is novel, and a goal is a dream without a deadline. So all of us who are writing or aspiring novelists, it's a goal that has got it without a deadline. So, okay. So let me see here. So you have your classical and old and new books you have not read for a long time. So you have old readers, new readers who want to read, and you can earn a new readership with your old book as well as with your current book. And it's time to reach out to your audience. So make it your next launch, your older book, your current book. When you launch your book, there is life in your old books, an exquisite taste others want to hear. Do it today. It takes first place in readership. It is the direction in which the author sets a path to the genre to a worldwide audience. It means a lot to readers. Choices are excellent options the readership has with a genre. It focuses on reaching an audience. There is a conscious author who is passionate about their writing. Yeah, so I think this speaks so much a volume of what is expected of the author and what he or she is thinking when they decide to launch their books or decide to write their books, because there is that innate thing they want to bring out to us. There is the passion, and it's something that cannot be held. Yes, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so with this other one, it talks about its poetry. And I've got a little slogan next to it: people plan, fate laughs. And that is because we are engaging. So poetry is strength, and our imaginations to bring out words as if owned by the listening audience. They become conscious of the audience, and the poet is not in isolation. Others around are ready to listen and to get strength out of their words. Attention and inspiration come gradually. Similarly, with a new poet, through practice, they will be able to gather a following, like an audience, for example. And that is encouraging to know that even with new poets, there is a space to actually let their poet and poetry flows for an audience. And this other draft is almost similar, but it talks about the worldwide flow of books in countries. So this was again a statistics from 2020. And if I go around to my right, it talks about the Arab countries. So within the Arab countries, the 2% of books are sold, and that can be billions, definitely. In Latin America, there is 2% that are sold. In United States, 36%. And we move down to the bottom. In Europe, there is 21%. By the way, this comes from Published Drive. Within the Asian Pacific, there is 11%. In Africa, 11%. So Africa is similar. We have the similar amount of books that are sold in Africa and Asian Pacific. And in the United Kingdom, 9%. In Canada, there are 4%. And in Australia, 49%. So you can see that worldwide, every author has the opportunity to have their books within one of these markets as they choose. Okay. Okay, so moving on from there. Right, so we've come to the end. Oh, that was quick. So here we are. And I want to say a big thank you for coming to the webinar today. It's been fantastic, and it would not be the same without you. And so here are my contactable details. You can contact me on my website, which is www.exposurebook.launch.com. And my email, before I go that way, just to let you know, there are little chats. You can contact me through there as well on the website itself. Send me messages on there. And email, it's the letter H at exposurebook.launch.com. And I've got Instagram. You can link on, you can follow me there, Velita HEBL. And LinkedIn, there's my LinkedIn address. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn page, you can connect with me there. And okay, so here is Book Launches Are Us. It's another of my my Facebook pages. So you can connect with me there. So I leave this up for a little while, and if anyone wants to say something to me, you could unmute your microphone and you can speak now, but I definitely will go to the chats while I leave this up here for a little while. So the floor is open. Anyone who wants to speak?
Velita, would this not be a good time for you to mention your Friday evening writers group? Well, it's UK evening, but you know, not for me and Mendy, but for the others. Yeah,
certainly. Okay, thanks, Stephen.
Yeah.
Right. We also have a writing group, and it's called Writers Virtual Platform, and it's a creative writing group. And obviously it is for beginners, beginner writers, any writers, authors can come along. The writing group takes place every fortnight on a Friday. The next one is on the 15th of November. Right, November already. That's quick. We're coming around quickly. Yes. So, and it's every fortnight after that. So you're welcome to attend. We look forward to having you. We're a vibrant group. We're friendly, and we have an electric atmosphere where we talk and discuss the videos. There are articles, discussions, there are the chats, you write in your chats, and there's feedback. We have an open mic session where you can talk, and it flows. Just like how your writing flows, our writing flow, that's how the group flows. Any more questions? Okay, so I take it that you have actually taken down contactable details, or I'll give you another minute more, then I'll stop sharing and I'll go to the chats. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing now. Oh, hi, Roxanne.
Hello. Sorry,
Hi.
I'm a little late. I had a little trouble signing on, and I have to leave at 9 o'clock, so I apologize. I'm all new to this, so apologies.
No problem. That's all right. That's all right. We've just been through quite a bit. Now you can, right. So I'm going to go to the chats now. Please do join in if you do want to make a comment, and we'll discuss that. So, right. So I've got here, Menzi wrote board books. So I take it, Menzi, you're not sure what board books are.
I don't know. I don't know if they. I don't know what they. I've never heard of them before.
Okay, well, I happened to come across one, and there was someone who I've seen quite a few. They're children's books. You know, these for toddlers, they have the boards, your board books where you turn. They're quite heavy little pages, so they're mainly pictorial books with a little amount of writing at the bottom. So those are board books. You had Mr. Men, Mr. Sooty, and all these ones, Mr. Snoopy.
I've seen them.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize they were books. I didn't realize they were called board books. All right, thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's all right. And this from Trace Matthews, say thank you. And I have no questions at the moment, but thank you. Are there any other questions anyone want to pose?
Well, I'm going back to your presentation. I am surprised that it's based on the 2018 data, but I'm surprised that hard books and paperback books are still way ahead of all the other forms. Hardbacks, most popular way of reading, and then followed by paperbacks ahead of all the other ways you can do it. That's a surprise, because I would have thought by now, you know, Kindle would be ahead or at least up with the books. But I'm surprised at that, and that's only 3 years ago. So I'm surprised that was the US, but I'm still surprised that hardback and paperbacks are ahead. I'm surprised about that. They're still well in the lead.
Yeah. And you notice it never mentioned anything about Kindle itself, but specifically it talks about downloading. So whether Kindle books fell into that category could be why they didn't specifically say Kindle books.
I assume so, yeah. I assume it done to downloads or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. But you also saw that in the 2020, there is a download section as well. So, yeah, I agree with you there. So, anyone you surprised by the draft apart from Stephen, who mentioned anything else that pops up that you wanted us to say but didn't have a chance to at the time?
No. What I was thinking about. I mean, I know that the percentages, you know, seem okay, but I was just wondering in terms of percentage of what, you know, how many 100,000s or how many millions. That was what I was thinking of. Because even though hardback has a higher percentage, but that could be of 4 million or 400,000 or 40 billion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The actual concrete numbers would be a bit more mind-blowing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And what they're saying is 1.8 billion. Wow, that is massive.
Yeah.
That was 2018. Okay. Any more questions? Right. Well, just want to say, well, thank you so much for coming to the webinar. Write your book, launch your, oh, we have one person is joining us. It's Miguel McQuill. Is that McQuill? McQuill. think it'd be nice to say hello to McKeel. Is it McKeel? Hello, is McKeel? McKeel?
Yes, it's Miguel.
Miguel. Oh, hi, how are you doing?
Doing fine.
Good, good. So nice for you to join us. Right, okay. So we have been through the slides for the webinar, and it's been a really good time, and you're kind of coming to the close now. But what we thought of is we're looking at some statistics, and they're really appealing to us. And generally, we thought of how maybe figures, showing some figures would be really sort of strong. So one of the things that really came up was there is 1.8 billion books, combination of books, audiobooks, paperback, that were sold in the US in 2018. So it goes to show how appealing books are, Yeah, so that is awesome. But sorry you've joined us late, Miguel. So we've come to the end. But next time we'll definitely put on another webinar next time. And this video you could always pick it up. I will have it, and you can always see what we talked about today. So many thanks for coming. Thank you, Stephen Barnes, Stephen Frampton. Thank you, Menzi. Thank you, Drew. Roseanne, thank you for joining.
Thank you. See you next time.
See you next time. Thank you so much.
Right, take care.
Thank you.
Bye, Menzi.
Yeah, look after yourself.
So see you on next Friday then, all being well.
I didn't realize it was the 15th. I thought it was this Friday.
Yeah, no, it is this. It is the 5th. For later, it's this coming.
Oh, it's the 5th. The 5th. My mistake.
Did you say the 5th? Yeah, it's not the 15th. It's the 5th.
It's the 5th. Oh, my mistake.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It's this coming Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we didn't have one yesterday. It's every other week, isn't it? So it'll be next Friday. Yeah.
Okay then. Take care now.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Take care then. Okay then, Belita.
Okay.
I'll
Thanks,
be in
Stephen.
touch. I'm working on my emails at the moment, so I've got to get on with that. Okay.
Thank
Bye
you. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Everyone. Bye.
Yeah, thanks a
Bye.
lot. Good session.
Thank you, Stephen.